The era of waiting for Western permission to succeed is over. African corporate giants are now seizing total market dominance by force. While the global narrative often focuses on what Africa lacks, a massive shift is happening behind the scenes in boardrooms from Lagos to Nairobi and Johannesburg. We aren't just building businesses anymore, we are constructing empires. Today, we are diving deep into a critical evolution in our economy, the shift from organic growth to aggressive acquisition. For decades, the Western narrative was that Africa needed help to build infrastructure. But today, African corporations are realizing that the fastest way to win is not by waiting for slow growth, but by buying out the competition and consolidating power. We're relooking at why our giants are choosing to buy growth, what this means for our economic sovereignty, and how this strategy is creating a wall against external exploitation. To understand where we are going, we have to look at where we started. For years, African entrepreneurship was defined by local resilience. Small businesses grew organically, piece by piece, often struggling against infrastructure gaps and limited access to capital. This was the survival phase. But something changed in the last decade. The emergence of a new class of Pan-African giants companies with the capital and the vision to think beyond national borders changed the rules of the game. These companies realized that in a globalized economy, time is the most precious commodity. If a company wants to dominate the telecommunications space or the banking sector across the continent, building from scratch in every country is too slow. By acquiring existing local players, these giants gain immediate access to established customer bases, existing licenses, and local expertise. It is not just buying growth, it is a strategic move to create a unified African market that can compete with global behemoths like Google, Amazon, and Alibaba. This shift is creating a massive ripple effect. When a giant in Nigeria acquires a competitor in Ghana, they aren't just making a profit, they are weaving the fabric of a more integrated Africa. They are creating economies of scale that make it harder for foreign entities to come in and divide us. Like this video help more Africans see this story. Now, let's look at the current landscape. We are seeing a move away from niche players toward conglomerates. Look at how our giants are moving in the fintech space or the energy sector. They aren't just launching one app, they are buying up local payment processors to create a seamless experience across borders. This is a strategic consolidation. They know that for Africa to rise, we need massive infrastructure that can handle millions of users instantly. By buying growth, they skip the growing pains and go straight to the dominating phase. This isn't just a business tactic, it is a statement of intent. It says that Africa is no longer content with being a collection of small, fragmented markets. We are building a unified front. When we consolidate our industries, we create a shield. A massive, integrated African market is much harder for the West to manipulate or exploit than dozens of tiny, disconnected ones. Who are the players moving the needle? We see it in the banking sector, where regional giants are absorbing smaller players to create Pan-African brands. We see it in telecommunications, where companies are buying up spectrums and infrastructure to ensure no African citizen is left offline. And we see it in the energy sector, where local firms are investing heavily in acquiring power grids and distribution networks. These aren't just businessmen, these are architects of a new era. These stakeholders understand that organic growth is a luxury for those who have time to wait. But Africa doesn't have time to wait. We need infrastructure, we need connectivity, and we need energy now. By choosing acquisition over organic growth, these leaders are prioritizing the speed of progress. They are building the backbone of a continent that is ready to stand on its own 2 feet. This brings us to the heart of the Africa Rising narrative. When we talk about Africa Rising, it isn't just about raw materials or population size, it is about economic agency. By consolidating our markets, we are creating a seat at the table that cannot be ignored. We are building a system where an African consumer can use an African service, powered by an African company, to solve an African problem. This is how we beat the West at their own game. They use consolidation to build their empires, now, we are doing the same to protect ours. We are creating a sphere of influence that prioritizes local jobs, local talent, and local wealth. This is the true definition of Pan-Africanism in the modern age, economic self-sufficiency through massive scale. What does this mean for our future? It means the next decade will be defined by the Great Consolidation. We are moving away from a fragmented continent and toward a unified economic powerhouse. The era of being a market for others is ending, the era of being a power in ourselves is beginning. Our corporations are no longer just chasing profits, they are building the infrastructure of freedom. Subscribe for honest, Pan-African analysis you won't find on CNN or BBC. We are moving toward a reality where African capital fuels African dreams. The transition from building to buying growth is a strategic masterstroke that will define the next generation of African wealth. We are no longer just participants in the global economy, we are becoming the architects of our own. Check out this next video on how Africa's infrastructure boom is set to redefine the continent's skyline. The question I want you to answer in the comments is this: do you believe that large-scale corporate consolidation is the fastest way to achieve African unity? Let me know your thoughts below. I read every single one. Until next time, keep watching Africa Rise.